Microsoft pulled out a survey this past week, and it suggests that they are going to implement an ad tier version of Game Pass. This is a strange kind of suggestion because Microsoft has been saying ad nauseum throughout the whole thing with buying Activision Blizzard to their issues right now with having actual games is that how Game Pass is the one thing you need if you're a gamer because it's a great deal and you get all these games. This kind of seems like an admission that maybe it isn't, or maybe I'm not sure really, but I find it really weird that they're doing this. So, Zero, what are your thoughts on Microsoft suggesting that they're going to do an ad tier version of their Game Pass?
It's a bit interesting because as it stands currently, the Xbox Series X dashboard does already have ads in it. And that's if you already are paying for either Xbox Live or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Just the dashboard is full of ads. There's just no sugarcoating.
Right.
I don't know how you would get away with that on PC. I mean, maybe the Xbox app has more ads than usual, but I mean, for the time being, the ads are kind of minimalistic as it is. I mean, at the top of the Xbox app, where it has Game Pass What's Happening, it'll show like, hey, like for example, right now, Halo Infinite's got a holiday event, featured Game Pass games of 2022, a notice to pre-install Atomic Heart to get ready when that goes live on Game Pass, a mention to buy Game Pass gift cards to give out for Christmas, and then a partner offer from an app and everything. And then, of course, in the PC game section, you've got this giant banner mentioning the Riot Games partnership that's going on, that if you link your Riot account with your Xbox Game Pass account, you'll get things like all agents unlocked in Valorant, all heroes unlocked on League of Legends, so on and so forth. So, I mean, the current incarnation of the Windows Xbox app, yeah, there are ads, but they're kind of minimal at the moment. And I just think that if there was an ad-supported one, it would just make the whole thing super cluttered.
I don't think that's exactly what they mean by ad tier. I think what they are thinking of is ads while you're gaming. I'm thinking, and this is the only way I can see this working, because the way you're thinking about it is, I would get that, but I don't think that exactly would work, because what they want people to do is interface with those ads. And by just putting a little box on the upper left-hand or the lower right-hand corner saying, hey, Doritos, buy them, I don't think that'll be that effective, and I don't think a lot of brands will want to advertise for it if it's not effective. I'm thinking what they're doing with ad tier is basically saying, while you're playing games that are from Game Pass, every 15 minutes we'll have a commercial. I think that's what they're doing. Like, let's say you have a Game Pass game, like MLB. After 3 innings of a game, suddenly the game will pause and then there's an ad. Or let's say you're playing Metal Hellsinger and you're done with a level, an ad. I think that's what they're doing. I don't see it being, oh, you're on our interface, here's an ad for Coca-Cola. Those don't work, or they work minimally. They'll want to have an ad tier service, and the reason why is to get people to purchase those ads. And for them to purchase it, they have to believe that people will actually see, notice, and engage with those ads. And the only way to do that is to put them up front and force them to watch, which is what a lot of free-to-play games and a lot of free-to-play apps do on the App Store. I think that is what they're going for, unless it was exposed otherwise.
The timed idea, I think, would take a lot of the momentum out of a lot of people's sales. I could see something like maybe injecting ads into like loading screens. So, like for example, with Darktide, when you're done with a mission, usually you'll see a loading screen with like some Warhammer 40K quotes like in duty is the path of happiness. So instead of those loading screens, you may see instead like a video ad for Rockstar energy drinks, because you can get codes for free Xbox Game Pass stuff or whatever.
I don't think, and the other thing as well, I don't think they count the ads of, hey, this game is on the Xbox store, or hey, this first party game is having a winter celebration. They're not going to count those. I think they're talking specifically third party ads.
Oh, yeah.
So even if you say, hey, I have the non-ad version, but you're advertising Halo Infinite, they're going to look at you and go, well, that doesn't count. It's like, that doesn't count. I mean, we're talking third-party ads, and I think that's where they're going to go for here. So if they go for it and do this, it would have to be a really cheap tier. I don't see it working because I think the technology to get this right has to be pretty complex, correct? Because not only are you going to have to track people who are on Game Pass, but you're going to have to find a way to implement it in every game so it feels right. And what about the games that don't allow you to pause? Like, are you going to, let's say they have, I don't know, let's say they put Elden Ring on Game Pass. Are they going to start sectioning off games on Game Pass where, well, if you have the ad tier version, you're not going to be able to play Elden Ring? Because if we give it the ad tier version, it's going to give you a worse experience. So there's a lot of questions with this. So, or another thing I just thought about, maybe while you're playing the game, there is a window on the top right-hand corner that just pops up and said, hey, while you're killing the Forsaken, why not have a Pepsi? Like, I don't know. Maybe something along those lines, but I don't see them doing an ad tier version unless they force you to watch the ad. If you can find a way to just skip it, the ad tier version is not going to do anything, really. That is if they actually do this. Like, I think you mentioned on here as well. So
I think, in my opinion, this is more just sort of I guess you could call it a fishing expedition of sorts to see what user feedback is. And people often forget that with these little Xbox marketing surveys, they don't always act on everything that they ask for. Sometimes they will get back the feedback from users who get the survey, and maybe the overwhelming majority say, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. Then at that point, they'll bring back the data to whoever higher up ordered this survey to go out, and they'll say, yeah, the users hate the idea of this. They think it's fucking terrible. Then at that point, Xbox might just go, okay, noted, terrible idea. Let us not ever talk about it in this form or fashion again until we can revisit it in a way that actually works better or something.
Yeah, I don't think this will go anywhere either. I think you're actually dead on right. Like you said, they're just trying to get a feeler for what people think of this. And I only see, honestly, I would only see people purchasing this if it's like $3.99, $4.99, if it's just the Xbox version. Because you also made a good point too. How are they going to do this on PC? Because you know damn well someone will come up with something that will block those ads from happening on PC. So you would have to keep it on Xbox. So, yeah, I think you're right on this. I think this is just, let's see what people think of this, and then either they won't do it, or if they do decide to do it, it will be in a preview stage on Xbox. And I think that is about it. Thank you for listening to this podcast segment. The Capital Games podcast is done every week, and we post it on all your favorite podcast apps, as well as segments on YouTube. If you want to listen to another segment, you can listen to a new one right there on the screen. We also do a movie podcast called the Capital Games Movie Club. If you'd like, you can go ahead and click on that and see all the movies that we have reviewed from that point. Thank you for listening, and we hope to hear from you soon.